Paragons, a deck building TCG like. Let's flip through the cards. I had the thing sitting perfect and messed it up. Oh, yeah, simple fix right there. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so in this game, there's 3 characters you can play as. This is a 2 to 3 player game. It's a deck builder, but it's very much TCG like. Yeah, Kickstarter. Just got it in. And like I said, I thought I got more copies than what I got, but I had to go over that whenever I get the time. Yeah, so need that. All right, first deck, burn it down, deal X damage to all mercenaries in play. Cost X. Oh, just deal X damage to them. But yeah, okay. So they got these. No. Okay. I guess these are Ranger cards. Green is usually Ranger, but Mage, maybe Mage Blue. Go ahead and open this too. Yeah, something about this old school beat. I don't know. All right. Greater Mercenary. These are the more expensive ones. Elvin. Okay, this one has a Ranger. Okay, Ranger. It's got the arrow right there. Oh, they're kind of all everywhere. Yeah, we'll just pick a stack. We'll just start with trying to kind of divide the cards into. Okay, this is greater and lesser right here. We'll just start with these mage cards, I believe they are. All right, burn it down, deal X damage. Chronomancy, 2-drop, exhaust all mercenaries. They recover at the start of your next turn, then flip a coin. If tails, banish this card. Energy bomb, deal 3 damage to an enemy mercenary and 2 damage to an adjacent enemy mercenary. Energy bomb again. Fire breather, deal a little dents on the cards or something. Yeah, weird. Fire breather, deal 3 damage to an enemy mercenary when you play this card, and 5 damage to an enemy mercenary when this card is destroyed. Greater mercenary. Okay, this is a mercenary. 6-drop, deal 3 damage when you play it, and 5 when it's destroyed. Okay, death rattle. Fizzle, 2-drop. Hidden, you may reveal this card when your opponent attempts to play a spell. If you do, they discard that card instead. Man, how did the Mojo stuff work? Let's see. Okay, play cards using Mojo. The Mojo you spend on cards is the same number as the round you're in. I mean, up to round 10. Okay, yeah, so just Hearthstone style. All right, Fizzle, hidden. You may reveal this card when your opponent attempts to play a spell. If you do, they discard that card instead. So hidden goes into the trap zone or whatever. Hidden, you may reveal that you may, so you can choose when to pop it off or whatever. Weird. All right. Yeah, Grand Arcanist. Concealed. Whenever you play a spell, deal 1 damage to an enemy player. This guy is kind of warded or whatever. It can't be the victim of some spells or something. Grand Finale, Hidden Fated. You may reveal this card on any round after the ninth. Spells you play have faded this turn. Spell damage to enemy mercenaries is increased by 1 until end of turn. Invigorate. Draw a card, then gain 2 life. A player's life total can't exceed 20. Nice that they just write that out right there. Magic Clone, when you play this card, search your deck for a mercenary and banish it. This card gains that card's abilities. When this card is destroyed, return the banished card to the top of your deck. Man, are these cards standard size playing cards? Yeah, just some was seeming a little smaller than normal. Trippy. Alright. Ping, deal 3 damage to an enemy mercenary or 2 damage to an enemy player. Pings are usually 1 damage, aren't they? 2 of those. Plasma Beam, deal 4 damage to an enemy mercenary or 3 damage to an enemy player. Pop-up Maze, you may spend 3 mojo at any time to put the mercenary occupying this space at the bottom of its owner's deck. Power Sep, the imbued mercenary loses all other abilities and imbuement effects. And imbues, they're just attachments, I believe. Redirect, change the target of a spell. Cost 3. Refresh, you may spend 1 mojo anytime to give the imbued mercenary +0/+1 till the end of the turn. Scry, 3 drop, search your deck for a card and put it into your hand. Do the same with your discard pile for a spell, then shuffle your deck. Seismic Blast, deal 1 damage to an enemy mercenary and all of its surrounding allies. You may replay this card from the discard pile at any time this turn for 3 mojo. Send it hidden. You may reveal this card when you or an allied mercenary would take damage. Deal 4 damage to target mercenary instead. Void Orb, banish the target enemy mercenary. Weaken, target mercenary's attack power is reduced to 1 until your next turn. You can spend 2 more mojo to treat this as an imbuement instead. Okay, so that'll be like a downgrade. Permanent negative effect on the op. Okay, so this is the blue deck. You do something like draft it. Well, I mean, you do something like, this is your personal deck. So how does that go? Recruit more mercenaries, 5 mercenaries from the undrafted mercenaries card. This is the neutral mercenary deck, replacing them as they get recruited to player hands during the game. 2 for lessers, 3 for greater. So I guess they all get shuffled up, and then some are 2 and some of them are 3 cost. Greater are like 6 drops and 5 drops. Lessers are 4 and under, it looks like. Play, spells, reveal, try to best to win the game. Know your combat set types, attack during your turn, draw 5 cards, begin. Okay, build your deck. Design a deck of exactly 30 cards, choosing from any number of neutral class cards that have entered your possession through choosing your class and or picking up cards during the draft. Okay, there's a draft. I mean, they don't go over the draft. Picking cards during the draft that have entered your possession through choosing your class. Okay, there's a draft as well. Draft mode. Okay, here we go. Okay, choose your Paragon class. Blue equals mage, red equals warrior, green equals ranger, and then draft greater mercenaries. Next, lay out the total number of cards, then take turns selecting them in this order. Ranger first, mage, then warrior. 14 cards for 2 players. Draft greater, draft lesser. Okay, so you get 18 lesser in a 2-player game, 14 greater. Okay, so there's a draft mode or design a deck of 30 cards, choosing from any number of neutral / class cards that have entered your possession through choosing. Okay, so you draft. It sounds like every game is a draft, maybe. Yeah. So you start with your faction deck, which consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 cards. And then you're adding the neutral cards, which are the yellow cards, Greater Mercenary. Well, okay. Mages. Mages, they have this staff right there. This also has a staff, but it's a neutral. But it's a mage type though. Maybe it can only be used in a mage deck. Maybe this can only be used in a warrior deck. Let's see. Draw 5 and begin. Play order. You must always draw either 1 card or 5 if you have less. Attack during your choosing from any number of neutral/class cards that have entered your possession. Yeah, what I would have liked is like, can you only include mage cards in a mage deck? Choose your Paragon class. First pick from the 3 options. Yeah, maybe you got to read the full rules for, yeah, stuff like that. I hate that type of stuff. When it's an obvious question, just answer the question right there in the rule book where it's simple. Yeah, and these are the neutral cards. I'm guessing these are just neutral. Anybody can use them. They all have this yellow tint. So I'm guessing these are neutrals. Like, nowhere do they say neutral, though. So I'm guessing these are neutral. A big stack of neutral cards. It sounds like anybody can use them, but maybe certain card effects only work with ranger cards. This would be a mage, I guess, but anybody can put it in their deck, it sounds like to me. But anyway, let's read some of these and then call this a day. We might get to the ranger and warrior one day, but not today necessarily. All right, but all seeing Seraph, Greater Mercenary, 7-drop, concealed. You may look at enemy cards and hidden cards. At the beginning of each of your turns, destroy 1 card from among them unless its owner chooses to lose 3 life instead. I guess it's only the ones that you've already seen, maybe. Could use an explanation. Great ally, really annoying neighbor. Blade Master, Critical Strike, First Blood. This card has concealed until the first time it's involved in a combat. 3/4. Looks like a warrior, but maybe can be any deck in any deck. Yeah, it's gotta be like in any deck, because if you have 5 options out here, but let's say you don't have a ranger option right now because there's no ranger cards out there. How far? I mean, how fair would that be? Not fair at all. But like, the warriors and mages can buy stuff, so you must be like able to just add anything to your deck. Sounds like it to me. All right, we already read Jewel. Font of Power. Greater. While this card is in play, your spells are played twice. You may choose separate targets for each instance. Frost Giant. When this card comes into play, exhaust a column of enemy mercenaries. They don't recover at the start of the player's next turn. 3/7. Exhaust a column. Yeah, column. 1 column. Blade Master, Critical Strike, First Blood. This card has concealed until the first time it's involved in a combat. Frost Giant, Great Dragon, Reach, First Blood. While this card is in play, your Mojo threshold is increased by 1, 8/7. Hero of Legend, First Blood. When this card is destroyed, replay it as an imbuement that gives the imbued mercenary +5/+4, just an attachment, equipment. Highland Beastie. You may play this as a hidden card for 3 mojo. You may reveal the card at any moment for another 3 mojo. I guess instead of paying to play it right now, you can just put it like on layaway. Sounds good. And like you can just and like you can also like ambush type of just like sneak up on somebody that's attacking. I guess maybe. Well, no, they attack. I don't know. Hidden is adjacent to what though? I don't know. Iron Golem, 5 drop. The first time this mercenary would take damage each turn, reduce that damage to 1. 5/4. Like the light text on these cards is good. Just okay, Dragon. Reach when this card enters combat, restore 1 mojo, and then it got super bright out of nowhere. Restore 1 mojo to your mojo pool total for this turn. 4/5, just okay. Magus of Orination. At the beginning of your turn, you may play a spell from your discard pile by paying its mojo cost. If it is a hidden card, it is moved to the hidden pile instead. Old Forest Treant. Still don't really know how to say that word. Treant. 5 drop. While this card is in play, your other allied mercenaries have +0/+1. Trust me, his bark is just as bad as his bite. A nice use of the Treant. 3/6, Greater Mercenary. Would cost 3, whereas Lessers cost 2, mojo. Pale Medusa, 5 drop. When played, exhausted enemy mercenary, it remains exhausted so long as this card remains in play. Soaring Phoenix, reach this card. When this card will be destroyed, it becomes hidden instead. You may reveal this card whenever your life total is lowered. Storm Elemental, whenever this card uses its casting ability, it also deals 1 damage to enemy players. Thunderbird, First Blood, this card attacks both enemy mercenaries in a column simultaneously. What is this, human art or AI art? I don't know. A cloud of bees garrison. When this card damages a mercenary exhausted, it doesn't recover during the owner's next step. I think it says something about an author, like in a, I mean, an artist illustrator, like in the back of the book. So, I mean, I'm guessing it's human art. But Arcane Bombardier. At the end of your turn, you may spend your remaining mojo to do that much damage to an enemy mercenary. Ardent Squire, you may exhaust this card to recover an exhausted allied mercenary. Bifocal Unicorn, that is cool. Surrounding mercenaries have +1/+1. The glasses, they do nothing. Centaur Marksman, exhaust this card to do 2 damage to an enemy mercenary or player. It's like horseback archery, but cut out the middleman. Ha, nice. 4/3, that's a lesser. Dear Sweet Mummy, you may play this card from your discard pile by paying its mojo cost. If you do, it comes into play as a 3/1 instead of a 2/2. Devious Harley Quinn, 1 drop, 1/1. You may play this card onto your opponent's combat board. If you do, it can't attack or defend. Dragon Whelp, 2 drop. Reach. When this card is destroyed, restore 1 mojo to your mojo total for this turn. 2/2. Yes, they're cute. A word of caution though, they have particularly volatile sneezes. Drunken Monk, 2 drop. 2/2. You may exhaust this card to exhaust an enemy lesser mercenary, and it recovers at the beginning of your next turn. Dwarven Miner, 1 drop. You may exhaust this card to restore 1 mojo to your mojo pool for this turn. Not to be confused with Dwarven Miners. They have good labor laws. The miners and the young miners, 1/2. Eldritch Burrower, the first Paragon class card you play each turn costs 1 less. Mojo to play this effect includes class cards played to the hidden pile. Sweet when you get to know it. 3/4. Elven Sharpshooter, 2 First Blood, 2/1. And it's a ranger type, so I'm guessing it deals with the ranger effects or whatever. You can straight like hit to the back row, I'm thinking. Enraged Berserker, every instance of damage taken by this card is reduced by 1. 3/2. Field Scout, 1 drop. Once on your turn, you may move this card to any space on your combat board or trade places with an allied mercenary. 1/1. Giant Spider, if you have a card in the hidden pile, Giant Spider has first blood. Whenever you reveal a hidden card, recover Giant Spider for 4/4. Lesser. Grimkin Rascal, 1 drop at the start of your turn. Do 1 damage to target mercenary. 1/1. Grizzly is Bear. When this card attacks, it deals 1 damage to any of its surrounding allied lesser mercenaries. Headless Horseman. If this card attacks an enemy lesser mercenary, it has first blood until end of turn. 3/3. Horned Sentinel. 4-drop. 4/4. Once per turn, when an enemy mercenary attacks, you may choose to make this card the target instead. Knife Dealer. 1-drop. Adjacent mercenaries have +1/+0. 1/1. Lumberjack. 1-drop. This card gets +2/+0 until end of turn when the combat with the greater mercenary. 1/2. Not So Cute Fairies. When this card is destroyed in combat, it becomes hidden instead. You may reveal this card when an opponent plays a spell. 1/1. Priest of Ordination, of Oration. 2-drop. And adjacent mercenaries have +0/+2. 0/3. And if that doesn't pan out, he can always give you Last Rites. Sapient Pult. At the beginning of your turn, you may move this card to any space on your combat board. 3/1. Tavern Bouncer. Exhaust this card to bounce an enemy lesser mercenary with 2 or less attack to his owner's hand. Terracotta Warriors. Cool terracotta mask. Garrison. This card can attack. 1/4. Vampire Duchess. The first blood. When this card destroys an enemy mercenary, it gains an additional +1/+0. Vigilant Pikeman. 2-drop. Critical Strike. Garrison. Wanderlust Ninja. Hidden. First blood. You may reveal this card anytime after the beginning of your next turn. It may attack immediately, even on enemy turns. War Elephant. 3-drop. 0/3. Whenever a mercenary is destroyed, this card gains an additional +1/+0 permanently. Warden of Oration. 2-drop. Exhaust this mercenary to give an allied lesser mercenary concealed until start of your next turn. Mr. Paragon. Get down. 2/2. Wizard at Arms. 4-drop. Still a lesser. On the turn this card is played, your next spell is played twice. You may choose separate targets for each instance. At this point, I could just go over the green and the red, really. Yeah, let me just go ahead and go over the green and the red, too. Alright, Ambush. Hidden. You may reveal this card at the end of your turn to destroy a lesser mercenary that did not participate in combat this turn. 2 of those. Clever Decoy. Hidden. You may reveal this card when an enemy mercenary attacks to make this card the new target. It must be a valid target. Over here, 0/3. English Ballista. At the beginning of your turn, you may move this card to any space on your combat board. Bet you didn't even think there was an England in this game. Well, there is. So there. 5/4. Haha. Grand Spymaster. 5-drop. 4/3. Concealed Reach. While this card is in play, you may draw an extra card at the beginning of your turn. Somewhere the leader of every clique in high school. Somehow the leader of every clique in high school. Grand Spymaster. I guess. Hidden Trampoline. Hidden. You may reveal the card when an opponent plays a lesser mercenary. Bounce it back to its opponent's hand. A tad whimsical, but effective. 1-drop. 2-drop. High Ground. Allied mercenaries have reach and +1/+0. It's over. Lord. 1-drop. Draw a card, then move an enemy mercenary anywhere on its player's combat board, switching places with the mercenary if it moves to an occupied space. Master Plan. 7-drop. Faded. Discard your hand, then choose up to 7 cards in your deck and or discard pile to put them in your hand. Hidden cards cost 2 less this turn. Rearm. 3-drop. Put 2 class cards with hidden from your discard pile back into your play revealed. Scorched Earth. 4-drop. Destroy any mercenaries that occupy the enchanted space at the start of each turn, and adjacent mercenaries take 1 damage. Scout ahead. Draw a card. You may spend 2 mojo to destroy an enemy hidden card. Deal damage to the enemy player equal to its mojo cost. Nice. Great auto include. Set the pieces. Rearrange combat boards however you like. You may set your life total to 8 if you so choose. Smoke Bomb. Hidden. You may reveal this card anytime during a combat. All combat damage is reduced by 3 at the end of the turn. Maybe the lack of a border is what's making these cards seem smaller than a regular card. I don't get it, but it's kind of giving me like an illusion of it being smaller than a regular playing card. But throwing hidden, you may reveal this card when an enemy mercenary attacks to deal 4 damage to it or 2 damage to its owner. Trip line, 2-drop, hidden, you may reveal this card when an enemy mercenary attacks. The imbued mercenary is permanently exhausted. Its owner may discard a class card at any time to destroy this card. Try again. Warding trap, hidden, you may reveal this card when an enemy attempts to play a class card, then place it at the bottom of his owner's deck instead. Green seems to have a lot of maybe traps and removal, maybe. Alright, and to the last one, the warrior deck. Start deck, 1-drop, backup plan, hidden. You may reveal this card when an allied mercenary is destroyed to replace it with a lesser mercenary of equal or lower cost from the buying pool. Basic armaments, 2-drop, the imbued mercenary has +2/+1. Blood Rage, 2-drop, hidden. You may reveal this card at the end of your turn to do 1 damage to an enemy player for each allied mercenary destroyed this turn. Collateral damage, the imbued mercenary has +2/+0 on the turn it was destroyed. At the end of that turn, destroy an enemy mercenary that was not in combat that turn. Death Flail, 2-drop, hidden. You may reveal this card when an allied mercenary is destroyed. Deal 4 damage to an enemy mercenary that damaged this turn. That damaged it this turn. Felonious Mulligan, 1-drop, search your deck for a mercenary card to put into your hand, then lose 1 life. Grab bag, 1-drop, reshuffle the mercenary deck, including all mercenaries currently in the buy pool. Then all cards in the buy pool cost 1 mojo to recruit this turn. Grand Fortress, this card can't attack mercenaries on the back line of your combat board or range so long as this card remains in play. 1/7. Market Boss, 5-drop, concealed at the beginning of each of your turns. Recruit a mercenary for free. That's a 2/5. Mercenary Broker, you may play lesser mercenaries directly from the buy pool to this space from their mojo cost. 1-drop. Porcupine Shield, 2-drop. The imbued mercenary has +1/+2. When it defends against an attack, it gains an additional +1/+1 until end of turn. Retribution, 1-drop, hidden. You may reveal this card when an attack or spell causes you to lose life. Deal the same amount of damage to an enemy mercenary. Try me. Some 2-drop, scavenge, hidden. You may reveal this card when an enemy mercenary is destroyed. The imbued mercenary has +2/+2. Support squad, 5-drop. The imbued mercenary has +4/+X, where X is the number of mercenaries on your combat board. At least their union. Okay, union squad. 5-drop, swiftness, 2-drop. This mercenary may attack twice per turn if able. Whenever it destroys a mercenary in combat, you may recover it for 2 mojo. Boundless Resolve, 2-drop, hidden. Reveal whenever an enemy would play a spell. Lose life equal to this mojo cost and banish it instead. Thirst for Battle, 2-drop. The imbued mercenary does not exhaust while attacking. Regain 1 life whenever it attacks. Training Grounds, 3-drop. Mercenaries occupying this space have garrison. They don't lose their garrison counters when they're bumped. 50 push-ups, 50 squats, 5 kilometers. Every day. That's half a punch man. Very Stubborn Grimkin, 1-drop. When this card is destroyed in combat, return it to play as a 2/2, and it returns to play exhausted. 1/1. Alright, there's been a gang of cards. I think how it goes is you take one of these class decks and then you draft the lessers and the greaters. Then you battle it out like that. Like draw 5 cards from your deck, shuffle everything up. Sounds good. I think that's how it goes. I'm sure that's at least one format. But of course, the full rules, like I said, are right here. And that's been Paragons. I would love to get it played soon. Shouldn't take long to play. But we'll see how long this takes to get played, though. Deck building TCG Lite. Alright, all your games, like, comment, subscribe, and double deuces.